Blessings and welcome to the path to freedom. And another message, another beautiful day, or maybe the same day as the day before, or whenever we met last. Anywho, my name is Daniel Roquillo, and I'm very grateful that you're choosing to tune in, that you're choosing to join me on this beautiful path where we get to set ourselves free. We get to set ourselves free from fear and worry and doubt, from a sense of scarcity and lack and separation, from a sense of not being enough, from a sense of not having enough. And we get to set ourselves free to be in ever-expanding joy and peace and harmony and wholeness and beauty. We get to set ourselves free to wake up, to transform our lives, to allow for ever greater and grander expressions of who and what we are. So that is why we're here, and that is what we're doing as we're walking and moving along this beautiful path. And today we are having a conversation about where we're turning our attention. And the theme for today is, what is it that we're looking for? Or actually, what are we looking for? And I have been, these last number of days, I have been in conversations with individual, not professional conversations, but just people, acquaintances and parents to my children's friends and classmates and all of that. Just random people. Now, they have not been random, but to me, in my mind, they have been random. And I have noticed that pretty much every single one of them, and this is no judgment, I have no opinions about it, I am observing it, but every single one of them have been talking about how expensive everything is and how difficult it is. They have been so immersed in financial challenges, and in that they have wanted me to confirm and validate how difficult it is to live these days. Or at least here in Sweden, I don't know if we are in a recession or not, but still, prices have gone up. And this has brought to my attention that once again, that we actually get to choose. We really, truly get to choose what it is that we are looking for, and whatever we are interested in the most, as the sacred laws decree, whatever we are interested in the most, that is what we're calling into our experience. Now, I am not having experiences where financial lack and scarcity are concerned at all. None whatsoever. Because I'm not interested. I'm not interested in how much food costs. I'm not interested in the gas prices. I'm not interested in the electrical bills at all. So, and so the financial scarcity is not a part of my experience. It is not a part of my experience. So we absolutely get to choose, and we're very wise. That's the essence of all of this. We're very wise to continuously ask ourselves what we are looking for. What is it that we are turning our attention toward? Am I looking for trouble? Am I looking for challenges? Am I looking for evidence of how difficult life is? Am I looking for evidence as to what an obstacle course life is? How I have to work so hard just to make it through the day? Or how I have to work so hard just to make ends meet? Is that what we're looking for? Is that what we're turning our attention to? Or are we looking for evidence of abundance? I mean, it's not hard. Just look outside the window and become aware of the number of leaves on any tree, the number of blades of grass on any lawn or any field, and the number of bugs that are flying around, that are scurrying around, at least during the spring and the summer. So what is it that we are looking for? Because what we are looking for, we are absolutely bound by law to find, to see. And what we're looking for, what we habitually are looking for, what we think about the most, what we talk about the most, what we feel about the most, by law, that is what we're calling into our experience. So yes, there may be that prices have gone up. Yes, there may be that whatever. But do we really want to bring that into our attention? Do we really want to bring that into our experience? Because we get to choose. We're not bound to look for anything that does not serve us. There is no law saying that we have to turn our attention to whatever the media wants us to turn our attention to. So I've been talking about finances, but this could just as well be about health. It could just as well be about career. It could just as well be about relationships. What are we looking for in the world outside of us? What are we looking for within ourselves? These sacred laws, they are like a mirror, reflecting back into our experience whatever we present to the mirror. And we are presenting by virtue of where we turn our attention, by virtue of what we talk about the most, and what we think about the most, and what we feel about the most. So all these individuals that I've had conversations with, they have been talking, and I'm guessing that I was not the only one that they were having this conversation around money with during the course of their days. But I'm guessing that whoever they struck up a conversation with, the topic of money, the topic of how expensive everything is, that was a general topic in their lives. And the sacred laws cannot but bring into our experience what we turn our attention to. So we're very, 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 very wise to be aware of what it is that we are talking about on a habitual basis, and begin to ask ourselves the question, is this that I'm talking about, is this in alignment with what I wish for my life to be about? If we want to experience financial freedom, then talking about lack and scarcity is not in alignment with that. If we want to experience divine and dynamic health, then talking about sickness, illness, pain is not in alignment with that. We need to take our minds back. We need to begin to exercise that beautiful attention muscle that we have, that allows us to choose in any given moment where we're turning our attention, what we're looking for. A number of days ago, I was out on the deck, and I was in an experience. I was caught up by stories and beliefs. So I was in a quite low vibration. I was out on the deck. I was sitting out there, and I was, at some point, my attention was pulled from my mind. I was pulled out of my mind, and my attention was pulled to nature. And I became aware of the beauty that was there, of the abundance that was there. I became aware of the innumerable numbers of flowers. We have this beautiful lilac hedge, and at this time of year it is in full bloom. So it was green and it was purple. It was like a green and purple wall, and in this wall all these bugs were buzzing, bees and bumblebees and butterflies and I don't know what, just an infinite number of them. And I became aware of the lawn and how green it was and how many blades of grass. And then beyond the lawn, there's a field. And beyond the field, there's a lake. And in the sky was blue, and in the sky, these beautiful clouds were flying by, and the sun was shining. All this to say that we get to choose. I could have chosen to stay, and had this been a number of years ago, I probably would have chosen to stay in my mind, to keep ruminating, to keep complaining, to keep repeating whatever story I was caught up by. But now, knowing that it doesn't serve me, when I do get caught up, I do get caught up. I have no judgments about it. I'm not beating myself up about it. But when I do become aware, when I wake up from that slumber, attention slumber, consciousness slumber, I bring myself out of it. And I got to rejoice. I got to switch. I got to shift from being in a mental hell, an emotional hell, to being in heaven, to being in paradise. The warmth of the sun on my skin, the feeling of the wind on my face, hearing these beautiful buzzing bugs, smelling the fragrance of all the flowers, watching the peace and the serenity over the field, on the field, in the field. I mean, my goodness. But we get to choose. So what is it that we are looking for? What is it that we are looking for? Are we looking for what we wish to experience? Or are we looking for what we don't wish to experience? Are we looking for what brings us joy? Or are we looking for what brings us negativity and anger and resentment and fear and worry and doubt? We get to choose in every single moment. And so we're wise to exercise that freedom of choice, to build that attention muscle, to build our presence muscles stronger and stronger and stronger. There's no one out there that can determine, that gets to dictate, that gets to tell us, that has the power to make us look for anything that we do not wish to look for, that we do not want to look for. No one out there has the power to tell us what to think. No one out there has the power over our minds unless we give them power. There is only one power here, and that is God, that is Spirit. And as God is good, as God is benevolent, always for itself, it means that God has no interest in us stewing and fuming in negativity, in fear and worry and doubt. That does not serve God seeking to come into a greater and grander expressions in and of it, in us and through every single one of us. It has some transformational value when it comes to us realizing that we have been caught, that we have a choice, that we have been stewing, that we have been ruminating, complaining, rehearsing what we don't wish to experience, so that we may be empowered to exercise our freedom of choice to a greater extent. From that perspective, it has a transformational value. But God has no interest. If God gets to choose for us to move through pain and suffering and calamity, which is to take the detour, or for us to take the shortcut, to choose even before we move into the pain, the suffering, for us to choose before we get pulled into the lower vibrations. God would absolutely have for us to take the shortcut, the easy way out. God has no preference. And as God has given us all free will, it's all up to us. We get to choose. And that's the point. We get to choose. So the invitation for us today, as we're coming to a close, the invitation is for us to become aware of where we habitually are turning our attention. What are we habitually looking for in the world? And the follow-up questions obviously are we looking for that which serves us? Or are we looking for that which does not serve us? Are we looking for that which is in alignment with who we wish to be and what we wish for our lives to be about? Or are we looking for that which is not in alignment with that? And then the friendly reminder that we get to choose. That we're all invited to choose, to be conscious about where we turn our attention, to be conscious about what we're talking about, to be conscious about what we're looking for in. All right. So thank you so much for tuning in, for participating, for listening. Until we meet again, I absolutely bless all of our days and all of our ways, knowing and feeling that all is well right where we are, every single one of us. That something wonderful is happening in this and every single moment, and that everything is working for the highest good for us as individuals and for all of creation. With much love, many blessings. Namaste.